group. Just a minute. Quality in education, especially the higher education institutions across the country, and the validity for NAC will stand between 5 to 7 years. Usually it is 5 years, sometimes it can be up to 7 years. So why should we go for NAC? Because basically it will help us to know the credentials of our institute. It's a scope for upgradation of our skills through regular appraisals, and a good grade will attract bright students, and the quality of the institute also raises, and it will also attract good takings, and there is a scope for new horizons. So it will also help us help the higher educational institutions to know their strength, opportunities, weakness through an informed review process. So there are three stages of NAC. One is the preparation of the self-study report. It is called as SSR. Then there is an on-site visit of the peer team. Then there is a final decision that is taken by the executive committee of the NAC. So if you look at the accreditation process, there is a registration that goes on, HEI registration that goes on. Then there is a IAQA document. So institutional information on quality assessment document that is being submitted. And then there is basically the document is being evaluated. And if it is rejected, the institution has two more opportunities to submit the same document. But if it is accepted, then we will have to submit the self-study report, SSR, which comprises of both the quantitative metrics and qualitative metrics. The time given for this is roughly 45 days. And then there is a SSS, Student Satisfaction Survey. This is very, very important. The student satisfaction survey is a quantitative metric, and roughly 10% of the entire student population has to be surveyed, or minimally the number should be at least 100. So only then it will be taken up further. Otherwise, they will sort of not allow for further processes. Then there is a data verification and validation process, which will roughly take 30 days. That is after the online submission of the self-study report, the DVV process is initiated. And then there is a pre-qualification, which requires at least 30% of system generated score, SGS. So if the score is very less, then it is failed. Then the institution has to apply again afresh with all the fees. But if the score is good, then it's passed. Then it goes for the evaluation of the quantitative metric, which is actually by the self-study, that is the system generated score itself, 70% of the evaluation gets completed, or the score is sort of decided. And then there is a peer team visit, which will look into the verification of the qualitative metrics and also the quantitative metrics. Finally, there is a calculation of CGPA and the declaration of the results. So if you look at the grading system for NAC, it is ranging from 3.51 to 4. It's called as A++. It's accredited. Then 3.26 to 3.5 A+, and it ranges. If it is less than 1.5, then it's called as D, or the institution does not get accredited. So how is the entire process going about? So you have, on one hand, you have to pay the accreditation fees. And once you pay the accreditation fees, beforehand itself, the management of the institution, whether it is a sort of an affiliated college or an autonomous institution, they will have either some institutions will have both an ACT cell separately and institutional quality assurance cell. It's called as IQAC. Two cells will be there, but institution, the not just necessarily goes through you submit the institutional eligibility for quality assessment. It's called as IEQA. Then there is a peer team visit from NAC. And once there is a compliance with the assessment criteria, then the grading is awarded. And as Dr. Swaminathan, our Dean Planning and Development, suggested, if you are not satisfied with the score that is generated, you can actually apply for reassessment and get better scores, provided you are able to justify your stance. So these are the 7 criteria of NAC. And if you look into the curricular aspects, the universities have a score of 150 points. The autonomous institutes also have 150 points, whereas the affiliated institutions have 100 points. Why is it so? Is because the affiliated institutions mainly implement the curriculum. In the curriculum, they mainly participate in planning and implementation of the curriculum. Their role in the design of the curriculum is peripheral. It's not that it is not there with the affiliated university. Members from the sort of the affiliated colleges could be part of board of studies, question paper setting, etc. But despite that, their role is peripheral. That's why their score is sort of less for the curricular aspects of the affiliated institutions. The other scores are given for a total of 1,000. So as we saw before, there are 7 criteria, curricular aspects: teaching, learning and evaluation, research consultancy and extension, infrastructure and learning resources, student support and progression, governance, leadership and management, innovation and best practices. So among this, if you look into the affiliated colleges, the criteria 2, teaching, learning and evaluation, has the maximum mark of 350, whereas most other criteria will have 100 points, and research and consultancy and extension will have 150 points. This is for the affiliated colleges. So coming to the criteria 1, the curricular aspects, there are 4 parts to it. The first one, in the case of an autonomous institution, it is or autonomous college, it is curriculum design and development. Whereas in the case of an affiliated college, this will slightly change to curriculum implementation, curriculum planning and implementation. As I told before, their contribution to the design and development is marginal and not very substantial. The second important point is academic flexibility. So what do we mean by academic flexibility? That means the students are given out choices and courses within the programs. And if there are more electives available, realization of the faculty. So more, for example, intelligence, all these are very, very important courses in various fields, especially computing or bioinformatics and biotechnology fields, which if the learner gains a knowledge of it, he or she will become more employable. So if you have such courses as electives, and if you give the flexibility of the student to choose those electives, then you are providing greater academic flexibility. Then there is a curriculum enrichment, which is in terms of sort of a practical training or experimental courses, value-added courses, and many other ways by which the curriculum could be enriched. And that is very important. And the last one is the feedback system. This is of utmost importance because the feedback doesn't come only from the students. You have feedback from the students, the teachers, the sort of parents, and also the alumnus and employers. So all stakeholders are there, and based on the feedback, whatever decision the management takes to improve the curriculum, that way there is a constant and productive improvement is there in terms of the curriculum. So let's look at the curricular aspects. So initiatives for effective curriculum delivery is what is very, very important for an affiliated college. So that can be in the form of smart boards, And as Sir pointed out in the morning, you can have a Google Classroom where there is a continuous learning possible, and it is not just restricted to the four walls of the classroom, where the teacher can post debates or initiate debates or discussions or quiz or anything which can be taken by anywhere, not necessarily the student being present in the campus. And especially currently, given the COVID situation, we are sort of forced to sort of embrace those tools more. So development of curriculum for own programs and processes, which can be done by the institute, core and elective options, choice-based credit system. What is the difference between the aided courses and the self-financing programs? What skill development in form of practical training, etc., that is being provided to the students, or in the form of value-added courses, which can be programming, Python programming, big data analysis, advanced diagnostic techniques, cell culture, or anything. And then the blended learning and curriculum enrichment, where graduates become more employable because they have acquired more skills other than just the normal curriculum, the extra. You can say it as an extracurricular skills, but it is mostly value-added skill sets, technical skills, which makes them more employable. And then the multidisciplinary issues, like the students should be aware of the gender, climatic change, human rights, and other issues. So for the design and development of the curriculum, which is more suitable for autonomous colleges and not for affiliated institutions, we generally have an AICTE model curriculum, and then the program educational objectives and program specific objectives are there, and that are fed into it. And then there are graduate attributes. So a board of study meeting is convened regularly on a regular interval, wherein the inputs from the curriculum workshop, academic audit, industry panel, and alumni, students, and industries are taken, and as a result of which curriculum and in technological development, it's a very good evolution. Once is this curriculum, and finally it is given in the form of a program curriculum for the students. So if you look at the colleges, as I told you before, they are not involved in design and development of the curriculum, but they are involved in planning and implementation. Every college might have their own unique way of planning and implementing it. They might have different modes of delivery and engagement in the classes, and not necessarily just the chalk and talk mode of the delivery. There could be other modes like flipped classrooms, and other modes could be there, and by which way one college will be unique from the other college. So the weightage for this is 20, and the grades range to a maximum of 4. And this is the weighted grade point, which is 60, and you calculate the grade by weighted grade point by the total weightage, which is the 60 by 20 in this case, and that's how you arrive at the grade point of 3. Similarly, for academic flexibility, curriculum enrichment, and feedback system. So the curricular aspects for criteria 1 involve only these 4 key indicators or key aspects. And what tables are required for this, what is the supporting document required for this, is what we'll be mainly seeing in this presentation. Before we go into it, as I told you before, many institutes have an institutional quality assurance cell. It's called as IQAC. Some of the institutes might also have an ACT cell for themselves. So typically the structure of the structural organization is like this, where you have a manager, a governing body, principal, IQAC, college council, HOD, teaching staff, and finally once is implemented of it, if it's curriculum. So, as I told you, we'll briefly have a look at IQAC. IQAC is an internal quality assurance cell. The chairperson of IQAC is the principal, and the member secretary is the director or coordinator. Members are 5 senior teachers and 1 senior administrative official. The other members are either 2 external experts on quality management or from industry or eminent persons from the local community. So what is the role of IQAC? IQAC caters to all this. So curriculum planning and implementation, teaching, learning and evaluation, research promotions, student-centric environment involving the society, for example, conductance of awareness camps, medical camps, and in case of calamities or pandemics, etc., trying to help in whatever modes possible by the form of NCC, NSS, or SCORE or other activities, and technology upgradation for staff and students, as I told you, in the form of Google Classrooms, etc., which will improve the teaching learning process, and then the committee formation. Finally, the most important part is feedback from students, stakeholders, and reforms which are implemented so that there is a continuous improvement. Every year, annual report, AQ are made in that. So IQAC, because it plays a very, very wide of communicates its decision to the staff council, which approves it, and the faculty deploy those policies. And finally, based on the implementation, whatever improvements are there and feedback they get and response and suggestions are reviewed again, and then it's again put back into practice. So moving to the main aspects of a self-study report, the first thing that we need to give is an executive summary. So the executive summary of the institution, the higher educational institution applying for A&A assessment and accreditation process, will have to provide the executive summary, which should include the introductory note, the criterion-wise summary, strength, weakness, opportunities, and challenges, and about the institution other than the ones that are already stated, and then the overall conclusive explication about the functioning of the institution. The overall executive summary should not exceed more than 5,000 words. So one should highlight the best practices or novel practices adopted by the institution compared to in enhancing the quality. So basically, the SSR will contain 2 kinds of metrics. One is called as the qualitative metric. The other one is called as a quantitative metric. In a qualitative metric, you give descriptive responses, which the peer team reads and verifies it during the peer team visit. And that is what forms a very, very important stage for the pre-qualifier stage. The quantitative metrics are facts and figures. It is also subject to validation with the help of data validation and verification. But basically, not all quantitative metrics are sort of verified in person. So the online submitted SSR report, from this, the 70% of the score is generated based on this quantitative metrics, which are certainly verified and validated during the peer team visit. So the distribution of metrics and key indicators across the criteria are as follows. The criteria is 7 across the board. Key indicators will vary between the affiliated colleges and the autonomous college. Similarly, the qualitative metrics will vary slightly. Quantitative metrics also varies quite a bit because, as I said, curriculum design and improvement, new courses, and all are sort of not there for affiliated colleges. And the total qualitative and quantitative metric is 121 for the affiliated colleges and 136 for autonomous colleges. So the key indicators, as we saw before in curricular aspects, one is curriculum design and development for the university, curriculum planning and implementation for the affiliated colleges, academic flexibility, curriculum enrichment, and feedback system is common for both autonomous colleges and also for affiliated colleges. So let's move into each of this table, and what is needed we'll just see briefly. So the first metric is a qualitative metric where in curriculum planning and implementation for affiliated colleges, the institution has to provide in 500 words that they ensure effective curriculum delivery through a very, very meticulously planned and documented process which is being implemented. The weightage for that is 10, and you have to upload supporting documents for this and also link for additional information. So these supporting documents are very, very important, and if it is not uploaded, basically the peer team will not visit and it will get cancelled. So it's very, very important that the supporting documents are provided during the SSR online submission of the SSR. So the quantitative metric is the institution adheres to academic calendar, including the conduct of CIA. There is also a description for that, which becomes a qualitative metric, which has a weightage of 5 marks over there. So there are two kinds of tables that we have to sort of fill in when we generate the SSR or get the SSR ready. So the first table is called as the extended profile of the university, where the NAC team would like to know what are the different kinds of courses that are being offered and what are the different programs that are being offered. This will tell them the diversity in terms of both programs and also the number of courses. And that is why it is very, very important to have more number of courses and not just simply listing them. We have to have students who are actively taking those courses and getting benefited by them. So the table is like this. We should not be changing any of the template of the table. Whatever template is given in the NAC is what is to be followed. We don't have any rights to change them, and it should not be changed under any circumstance. So the program code, program name, course code, course name, and year of offering. So during the 5 year of accreditation, all courses within the programs during this 5 year should be listed year-wise. The second extended profile of the university is the number of programs offered year-wise for last 5 years. As I just told you, the reason for collecting both this data is to look at the diversity of the programs and the greater flexibility and the diversity of the courses that are being offered, which shows the strength of the curriculum. So it is very, very important to have more diversity here. So as far as the affiliated colleges are concerned, the first table that they have to make under the quantitative metric is how many of their teachers are involved in curriculum development and planning. That is basically with the affiliated university. So how is that measured in terms of their teachers' participation in academic council or board of study of the affiliating university, setting up of question paper for the UG and PG programs, design and development of curriculum for add-on, certificate or value-added courses, and then assessment or evaluation process of the affiliating university. If the college has teachers who are participating in all the four, that's really very good. Then one should choose the option A. If only 3 of the above, then B, 2 of the above C, and any one of the above D, and none of the above is E. So accordingly, you have to provide the list of the teachers and in which activity they have participated and the year. And as a proof, we have to provide letter inviting the teachers to participate in academic council meeting, setting question paper, or in designing and developing curriculum, or in assessment. So that is very, very important. Without the documentary proof or the scanned copy proof of the letters, the table as such do not have a lot of standing or value. So the data template for this is year, the name of the teacher who has participated, and name of the body in which the full-time teacher has participated. Moving into the second metric, which is the 1.2.1, which is the quantitative metric, that is the percentage of program in which choice-based credit system or elective course system has been implemented. So CBCS is a program where basically there is more flexibility. The student can choose between, of course, not a core, elective, a honors course, or a research credit. Many choices are offered. The more the choice, the more the flexibility, and more the chance for development and evolving. and acquisition of new skills. That is why CBCS is given a lot of importance. But if CBCS is not there, electives can be offered. So there can be a huge list of electives depending upon the specialization of the faculty within the particular department. As I told you, if there are people who are involved in microbiome research, offering a course on microbiome or a big data analysis or artificial intelligence or Internet of Things, all this will be extremely useful, and those will add value to the curriculum. So,
That's why,
sir.
just sorry for the interruption. See, as you very rightly said in the beginning, the Anna University affiliated colleges have no right to change, alter the curriculum or providing a choice-based system and all. No, they don't have the flexibility. In those cases, how this criteria are going to be handled, how the colleges have to handle, can throw some light or give some suggestions also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, how to offer flexibility within the rigidity, within the rigid system of curriculum, Anna University given curriculum, how flexibility can be given to the students?
Yes, sir. So that's a very, very valid point. So in case of affiliated colleges, in case of autonomous institutions, there is no problem because they have a ability to choose their own curriculum, design and plan their own curriculum. So they can easily implement CBCS or electives. In case of the affiliated colleges, there is very little flexibility that is there because the curriculum is designed and developed by the affiliated college, affiliated university. But when the the members from the college participate in the board of study meeting and an academic council meeting, they can actually suggest their concerns and also the strengths, showing that they have faculty in this particular area, and hence the curriculum can be made a bit more flexible in trying to accommodate these elective courses. CBCS may not be possible, but certainly electives can be introduced and which can be voiced through their faculty who are becoming part of the academic council meeting and board of study meeting of the affiliated university. That is probably one of the best ways by which the college can push for including certain electives in which they have faculty who are experts in that particular area. I hope that answers the question, sir. Let me proceed further. So basically the number of programs, so this is calculated based on number of programs in this CBCS or elective course system is implemented by total number of programs offered into 100. That's how you get the percentage of programs in which CBCS or elective course has been implemented. So CBCS is given more weightage followed by elective. So if you have both CBCS and elective, you have to show documentation only for CBCS. But if you don't have CBCS, then elective documentation support can be shown. So percentage of programs in which CBCS or elective course system has been implemented. It's a quantitative metric. Here is the program code, program name, year of introduction, status of implementation, year of implementation, and link to the relevant document. So the documentary proof for CBCS are, number one, you have to show the list of programs, list the programs where CBCS or elective is there, which has to be certified by the registrar of the affiliated university. You have to provide the minutes of the relevant academic council or board of study meeting. And then there is a university letter from the affiliated university stating that CBCS is implemented. Finally, the structure of program clearly indicating the courses, credits, elective as approved by the competent board. Moving on to the next metric, which is the value-added courses, number of add-on certificate programs offered during the last 5 years. So this is an extracurricular activity. So one should be aware it should not be listed in the curriculum. This can be a practical training course on machine learning or a course on Python programming or the Perl language or next generation sequence analysis, which is not part of the curriculum. So Badri sir asked a question that in case there is an academic rigidity, in the sense the curriculum is already framed and you don't have a lot of flexibility in moving around with the curriculum, especially for affiliated colleges, then how can we sort of enhance the curriculum? One best way to do that is by offering value-added courses. Whatever course, if there is no flexibility in offering an extra course, that course can be offered as a value-added course, maybe as a partly practical and partly theory course, semi-theory, semi-practical kind of course, where by that way the students will anyway acquire the skill, and by that way the curriculum could also get enhanced. So here the data required is name of the course, number of times offered during the year, total number of students completing the course in an year. So this is the table, data template. So name, course code, if any, year of offering, number of times offered, duration of the course. Duration is very, very important. When you say a value-added course, the NAC wants the course to at least span for 30 hours and above. Any course that is less than 30 hours, please don't include it as a part of value-added course. And they would like to see more number of students enrolling in the course. The more, the better. Okay, and finally, the number of students completing the course in a particular year. So that if the percentage of say 50% of the entire students in the campus are taking value-added courses, that's a wonderful score. That will actually fetch for this particular criteria almost 10 out of 10. So documents needed for this as support is actually list of the course signed by the appropriate authority, and then the course content, syllabus, along with the attendance and e-certificates will also be asked during the peer team visit. So the next one is basically average number of students who are sort of involved or undertaking the certificate course against the total number of students during the last 5 years. So this is very, very important. That's what I told you that.
Sorry, sir. I want to ask one question, sir. Please, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I am from Saraswati College of Engineering Technology, Lakshmanan, sir. As far as the affiliated college is concerned, so you are talking about the mainly about the autonomous and autonomous universities, deemed universities.
No,
But
sir.
as per the affiliated colleges, as per the Professor Badrinath point of view, if you are going to conduct the value-added courses means, it is accredited by the Anna University only. Is it okay?
No,
They are not
sir.
going to allow us.
No, value-added courses are ones that can be conducted by the college itself. Okay.
Yes.
Which should be outside the curriculum, so it need not be necessarily approved. That is, it is not part of the curriculum. So it's an extracurricular activity.
As Badri sir,
Dr. Sai has correctly said, sir, certain things you can do beyond the given curriculum also. You need not seek Anna University permission. You can offer under your college name more than 30 hours you can offer a course. You can design a 40 hours course.
Yes, sir.
College name la neenga certificate போட்டு கொடுக்கலாம். அந்த மாதிரி கோர்ஸ் தான் ஒரு வேல்யூ ஆடட் கோர்ஸ்னு சொல்றாரு. நீங்க அதுக்கு அண்ணா யுனிவர்சிட்டி அப்ரூவல் தேவையில்லை.
Okay, but who will govern the yes sir, who will govern the value added course? Only the college itself, sir.
The college நீங்க பிளான் பண்ணி நீங்களே டெலிவர் பண்ணி சர்டிபிகேட்டும் கொடுக்கலாம். Value added course. Am I right, Dr. Sai? That is what you mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is how it is being done.
Because the mark is very less when compared to 100 only we are affiliated colleges for us. Also, you have pointed out that the under the curriculum development, most of the colleges are not taken into the account of developing the curriculum by the Anna University. So mainly some big colleges only they are taking. So for that also we are not able to participate. Then how will we score the mark? That's my question, sir.
Sir, that criteria itself is not there, sir. Curriculum design and development of the affiliated colleges, it is not there, sir. And whatever I am showing right now is for affiliated colleges, sir. So when the curriculum design and development is not there, you don't need to worry about the marks, sir. Mark is being assigned for curriculum planning and implementation.
Only we are implementing, sir. Yes. Not planning, sir. Yes.
For the implementation, you might have a unique mode of implementation, sir. That is what makes you different from other college, and that is where exactly you can score. So affiliated colleges, this particular criteria, design and development of curriculum is not there. So you don't need to worry about losing marks for it. It is not there in the list itself. Marks that is evaluation criteria, curriculum design and development itself is not there, so you don't need to worry. And another point is that, sir, I am showing whatever I am showing right now is for affiliated colleges. Once in a while I'm mentioning things for autonomous colleges because more participants are from affiliated colleges. That is why I'm showing all these tables belong to affiliated colleges. From 1.1.3, whatever I'm showing is for affiliated colleges. Just the correction. Okay, sir.
Thank
I'll
you,
just proceed. Yeah, thank you.
Continue, sir. Sorry for that.
So for this value-added courses, the most important thing is average percentage of the students enrolled in value-added courses, for which the supporting documents is list of enrolled students year-wise, attendance sheet of the enrolled students, and certificates of the students enrolled. These three are very, very important. And the next indicator is, the key indicator is curriculum enrichment. Here the first is a qualitative metric where the institution, that is the affiliated college, has to provide a write-up of 500 words showing that the institution integrates cross-cutting issues relevant to professional ethics, gender, human values, environment, and sustainability into the curriculum. So this is a written document for 500 words which the college has to provide. And then there is a average percentage of students who are involved in experimental learning through project work, field work, or internship during the last 5 years. So again, the name of the course, detail of experimental learning, and name of the program has to be given. But one important point here is this should be part of the curriculum. You cannot say extempore introduce a project work for a course for which project work is not sanctioned in the curriculum. So there could be a chemistry course for which in the final year there is a project work for 6 months allowed. But there could be some other course for which a project work may not be allowed. So if project work is not allowed, you cannot implement it and try to show that your students are involved in experimental learning. That's very, very important. It has to be part of the curriculum here. So average percentage of the student courses that include experimental learning through project work or field work. This is the table, program name, program code, name of the course that include the experimental learning. For example, project work, course code, year of offering, name of the students who have enrolled for it, and finally link to the relevant document. Here again, this is the formula for calculation. So name of the course that include experimental learning by number of courses that have practical component, by number of all courses in all programs into 100, and then the sum average of all that across 5 years divided by 5. So here the next quantitative metric is you give the list of students who are undertaking project work compared to the total number of students in the entire institution. So this should be more. So the percentage of students undertaking field projects or research work. So program name, program code, list of students, and link to the relevant document should be there. And the supporting documents that are needed here is the list of students along with the details of title of the project, place of work, etc. And if it's an internship, then the institution has to provide the internship or project completion certificate. If it is a field visit, photograph is required, and also the what you call is the objectives. What is the objective of the field visit has to be mentioned, and the permission letter from the competent authority will also be considered. So
for anything and everything precisely, documentation is very, very important. Supporting document proves they expect. You cannot simply say, I took my students to a company for an industrial visit. It must be accompanied by attendance. It should be accompanied by a photograph. All those things, that's what Dr. Sai says. So please be careful about maintaining documents for each and every activity that you do. That is a supporting document which you have to show during the visit. Thank you. Carry on.
Yes. So these are the additional documents that are required, as Dr. Badri pointed out. So I'll tell you in another 2-3 slides, I'll just wind up and then I'll tell you what we do, how we sort of make our documents and keep it ready or accessible so that it will be useful for you. You can follow the same method or some other methods are available. You can certainly implement it. So for this only the latest completed academic year data is required. And if a student is involved in both field work, project work, and also in internship, you cannot count him thrice. Only once he can be counted. and the project completion certificate should be provided. And in case of field visit, objectives and outcomes of the field visit has to be provided. All this has to be uploaded in the drive and shared with the NAC during the online SSR submission, and only then they will verify all this, and only then you can proceed to the next stage. If you only fill in the table and give them without the supporting documents, you will not be able to get pre-qualified. You will not move to the next stage. So the last and most important point of the curricular aspect is feedback. So feedback from whom? Feedback from students, teachers, employers, and alumnus. On what? On the syllabus, on the curriculum. This particular aspect of feedback is based on not how the teachers perform or the teachers' feedback. That is basically, it is mainly focused on curriculum development. So if you have for all the four, then it is A, the same way it goes. And if you have for only one or two, then it is not good. In fact, it is better that you have feedback from alumnus, employers, teachers, and students on the curriculum, so that you can improve the curriculum and can have a better curriculum every time you sort of try to implement the feedback. So the feedback process itself, it's a very, very important quantitative metric. You can, the institution, the college can show that they are collecting feedback. But what is the use of collecting the feedback if you don't work on it? So there are certain colleges which may not have a mechanism to collect feedback. If you don't have that, please do implement it, because it's something very, very important, because that is the way you can actually get inputs and improve your curriculum. The second is, you can collect the feedback but not act on it. That is not of great use. So you'll have to move to collect the feedback, analyze the feedback. Even that is not fully useful. Only A or B are really useful. In B, you collect the feedback, analyze it, and take action. And in A, whatever action is taken, it is actually put up on the website. That way you are transparent, and sort of it is very easily accessible, and everybody knows what is the feedback that is received and what action has been taken and how it is implemented. So A is the best score that you can get for this particular this one if you are in the A category. The last thing is, there are a lot of links, because you can ask a question where to get the manuals, the revised manuals. So if you click on this link is provided. If you click on the link, it will go to the NAC website. That will fetch you the manual, the revised manual. It's very important to use the revised manual, which is updated on February 2020. Don't use the previous manuals. Make sure that you are using revised manuals. And then there is extended profiles, which includes the tables that I have shown, standard operating procedures, both for autonomous colleges and affiliated colleges. And the last point is, basically, you might be curious to know, like an institution like Loyola College or Tyagaraja College in Madurai, or some other good institutions, they might have scored 4.5, whatever, out of 4-point scale. They might be getting plus 3.57, 3.6, or whatever it is. So you would like to know on which areas they've scored better and in which areas they have scored less, and what was their individual scores for each and every criteria or key indicators, so that you can have a reference and you can try to reach that score for your college. If that is the case, if you go to this particular link, Assessment Online, if you click on this, it will take you to the NAC website, where there are previous year accreditation results available. If you click on that and click the college and say the college name like Loyola, it will get you the results. The currently released results, if you get into them, it is a great advantage, because you can individually look at the self-study report that they have submitted, the grade sheet that has been generated for their assessment for every criteria, and under each key indicator, what is the score that they have got, and what is the, say for example, the percentage of students taking value-added courses. If an institution has scored 4 out of 4 in this particular curricular aspects, and if they have 50% and above students taking value-added courses and 50% and above students taking research projects, then you know that you should have at least that much of score to score 4 out of 4 in this particular aspect. Okay, so all this can be got from this. Of course, I do have a lot of these tables added down, but I will just stop with this and take any questions that are there. These are basically from the NAC manual that has been taken, and these are the data templates that are available from the NAT manual, which you can use. So I'll stop with this, and I'll be ready to take questions, and I'll try to answer my best. Thank you.
Well done, Dr. Sai. Excellently, you have presented the very first criteria. As an opening batsman, you played very well. Congratulations to you. Coming to the audience, so I hope during the presentation you would have had, I myself have asked on your behalf. But one thing Dr. Sai also made it very clear, you also please understand, there are 3 different platforms in which they are measuring. It is not, they are not comparing apple with orange or something. So they are not comparing an affiliated college with a deemed university, please remember. So they know the constraints of an affiliated college. So you will be compared, you will be considered only as an affiliated college. They know Anna University is controlling 570 colleges in Tamil Nadu. So they will not ask you what planning you did, why you syllabus you did, you kept this paper, why you have not kept the AI paper in your computer science and all. They won't ask you. But one thing you should remember, you have no right to alter the curriculum, but you have every right to delivery. In delivery, you can use very innovative methods. You can use different methods to teach the same subject. Even though within among the teaching community, we the faculty members, each one of us have a different style of teaching also. The same subject can be taught in a different fashion by different teachers. So if I am a marketing management teacher, I do in one way and another, my colleague is doing in another way, the other one is doing in a different participative style also. So those kind of innovative techniques you are at liberty to use. So planning of curriculum you may not be as affiliated, but delivery it is possible. So any other questions you may kindly please ask now regarding the criterion 1, curriculum planning. Whatever Dr. Sai has presented, kindly ask your questions.
Thank you, Badri sir. I am from Lakshman, the same college, Saraswati College, sir.
Yes, sir.
Dr. P. Madhav Sharma is our principal, sir.
Yeah.
As an affiliated college, you have given a perfect explanation, sir. Now I understood what are the constraints we are having to achieve some amount of marks or criteria. I want to ask Professor Sai Subramanian, sir, as affiliated colleges, what are the minimum criteria for the criteria 1 for SSR report? In which areas we have to concentrate more? That's my question.
Yes, sir. So that's sort of a good question, sir. So as Badri sir pointed out, so if you look into this, so this, of course, on my slide number 21, I am not showing the slide right now. There is curriculum planning and implementation, academic flexibility, curriculum enrichment, and feedback system. So as you said, the curriculum is already fixed. We can't do anything much about it. But in terms of academic flexibility, for example, introducing the value-added courses or curriculum enrichment, where you expose the students to the field trips or industrial visits and other things. And in the feedback system,
on that point, we can manipulate easily. I'm not mentioning any.
No, sir. It is not possible to manipulate because you need to have proof for everything: photograph, letter, and certificates. Everything should be there. So there is no scope for.
The documentation is very important. Yes.
Documentation is absolutely important, sir. Without documentation, your table is invalid. They won't consider your table.
So the peer team,
is it necessary for before the pre-qualification, sir, applying for the pre?
Yes, sir. By the time you submit your SSR report, you should have all this data ready, compiled and ready. So when you are submitting your SSR report, it is submitted online. All this table has to be filled, and all the supporting documents have to be attached. If the size of the supporting document is less than 5 MB, you can upload it on the website. But if the size is more, we usually create a Google Drive folder. For example, for the same value-added courses, I can have a folder for table. Anyway, I will be uploading it. I can have 3 folders, one for students' attendance, one for basically the course content, and one for certificate. Because if there are 1,000 students who have participated in the value-added courses over 5 years, then I have to have the data for all the 1,000 students there in terms of certificates, nameless, course content. So all that should be there.
Yeah, for example, I tell you, in this COVID period, we did 2 things in Shastra. One
Yes,
is,
sir.
say, for example, Dr. Arun Kumar, who is a coordinator at Paramash also, he has taken the initiative to get licenses for 4,500 students from
Yeah.
Coursera. Coursera has given certain courses free of cost and subsidized rate also. So what he did is he collected the free licenses for 4,500 licenses and gave it to our Shastra students. So these students underwent this Coursera thing, which we can proudly say when we compare NAC accreditation. I say 4,500 Shastra students did these kind of courses, 40 hours courses, 60 hours courses during the COVID period. They did it. Now I can show you the one.
Yeah.
Another example. My
Martin
vice
also
chancellor.
doing the same job.
Yeah,
Sir.
yeah,
I
everybody
know
may
that.
be doing. I'm just giving you a spark for thinking, that's all. So second thing, for example, our vice chancellor said during this COVID period to engage a student, he said TCS is offering, even
Yeah.
now it is not too late, you all can note down, all the members can please note down. TCS is offering an online free program called Career Edge. TCS Career Edge ஒரு program தராங்க ஃப்ரீயா. இந்த ப்ரோக்ராம்ல இப்ப சாஸ்திரால படிக்கிற 9,800 ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்ல இன்னைக்கு மார்னிங் வரைக்கும் 9,100 ஸ்டூடெண்ட் have completed successfully that course, 24 hours course, and they submitted their certificates also online to us. 9,100 students have completed this TCS free online soft skill course. It's on soft skill. This will helpful for campus placements. இது வந்து 100% free. There are several MOOC courses offered by IIT Bombay. Even in our Paramash and Margadarshan, I am forwarding a lot of such information which I am collecting from various, which are sent actually to Shastra Availity Center. But you are all being our member colleges, whatever good information that I am receiving, I am forwarding to all the colleges. I am sure the principals might be forwarding to faculty members also. So you people should pass on this message to the faculty as well as to the students. This Coursera, for example, not only my students, you will be wondering, at least 50 to 100 Shastra faculty asked for this Coursera license, free license from Arun Kumar, and they did the program. They said they also want to learn something. For example, they want to learn artificial intelligence, machine learning, 3D printing, or Python programming or something. Our own faculty volunteered during this vacation to undergo these courses free of cost. And Dr. Arun Kumar asked me whether I can permit. I said, Dharalama kudunga, students, why not stop it? See, faculty should volunteer to go and learn, to find out source. நம்ம கொஞ்சம் தேடணும், கொஞ்சம் மெனக்கெட்டு தேடணும். நமக்கு கிடைச்ச இன்ஃபர்மேஷனை we must pass on as to our colleagues in the college, and we must pass on to our students community also. Learning is a continuous process. It's an endless process. நீங்க கரிக்குலமை மட்டும் வச்சுக்கிட்டு அதை மட்டுமே வச்சுக்கிட்டு நம்ம ஒன்றும் பெருசா சாதிக்க முடியாது. Beyond curriculum plus பக்கத்துல put one big question mark. Other than the Anna University given syllabus, what else the college progressively did? Innovatively, what steps you have taken to offer additional knowledge to your students and teachers? Additional knowledge. Other than that is basic. What curriculum given by university is a basic. You have to deliver, you have no choice. But other தாண்டி IIT course இருக்குது, எத்தனையோ organization across the world is offering MOOCs னு சொல்றோம், massive open online courses னு. இந்த massive open online course நிறைய பேர் ஃப்ரீயா கொடுக்குறாங்க. சும்மா 200 ரூபாய் 300 ரூபாய்க்குலாம் கூட கோர்ஸ் கொடுக்குறாங்க. But TCS is coming out with a program. Only 300 rupees they are going to charge some computer programs எல்லாம், Python programming, இந்த மாதிரி ப்ரோக்ராம்லாம் 300 ரூபாய்க்கு தர போறாங்க TCSல இருந்து, TCS அயன் மூலமா. இந்த மாதிரி இன்ஃபர்மேஷன்லாம் செலக்ட் பண்ணி நம்ம ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு கொடுக்கணும், நம்ம டீச்சர்ஸும் எடுத்துக்கணும். இதெல்லாம் பண்ணாதான் நம்ம ஃபேக்கல்ட்டியும் என்ரிச் ஆவாங்க, ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸும் என்ரிச் ஆவாங்க. இந்த மாதிரி ப்ராசஸ்ல போய் நீங்க சொல்றதுக்கு உங்களுக்கு பாயிண்ட் இருக்கும். இல்லைன்னா ஒரு சிலபஸ் மட்டும் நடத்திட்டு இருந்தா நமக்கு ஒன்றும் இருக்காது. நத்திங் டு சே அடிஷனலி as a teacher. Okay, any other questions, sir, or others?
Just adding one point to what Dr. Badri said, value-added courses are exactly that. So extracurricular, you are imparting skills through new courses. So that is what value-added courses are doing. That is why NAC is giving some good weightage to those value-added courses.
ஸ்வயம்லாம் என்கரேஜ் பண்ணுங்க. நிறைய ஸ்வயம் கவர்மெண்ட், the central minister has said, நம்மளுடைய டீச்சிங் இதுலயே 30% கிட்டத்தட்ட கொண்டு வந்து ஸ்வயம்லோட கனெக்ட் பண்ணுங்கன்னு சொல்றாங்க. நம்ம கோர்சஸே சில இதை ஸ்வயம் பிளாட்ஃபார்ம்ல கொடுங்க. நல்ல வெரி சீனியர் ஃபேக்கல்டி ஆஃப் IIT, IIMs எல்லாம் தேர் ஆஃபரிங் தி கோர்சஸ். நம்மகிட்ட அந்த மாதிரி ரிச் ஃபேக்கல்டி இல்ல, எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் இல்லைன்னா இருக்கிற இடத்த எடுத்துக்கலாமே. when I don't have it, somebody is having, why not I can use it? இதெல்லாம் நம்ம பண்ணலாம். Okay, next sir, any other questions? Other participants, come on, pose your questions.
Regarding value-added course, Sir, I am Dr. P. Madhav
Yes,
Sharma,
sir.
Saraswati College of Engineering Principal. Hello, Dr.
Yes, sir. Please
Sai
go ahead, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Hello.
Sir, Madhav Sharma,
Sir,
sir,
you are audible, sir. Audible, sir.
Badri sir pointed out, we have,
Yeah, you are audible.
signed MOU with our Shastra University. Well, regarding value added, just now Badri sir pointed out. Our college is signed MOU with the Shastra University. Suppose our students went to Saraswati College students
Okay, sir.
sign do the lab facility, all the facility and the internship facility at Shastra University for 3 days or 5 days. It will be considered as a value added courses. It will be benefit for the NAC.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
30 hours சொன்னாரு.
30 hours, sir.
criteria.
Yes, sir.
ஒரு நாளைக்கு நீங்க சாஸ்திராக்கு ஸ்டூடண்ட்ஸ் அழைச்சிட்டு வந்து பஸ்ல அழைச்சு விசிட் பண்ணா அதை கணக்குல எடுத்துக்க முடியாது. 30 hour மினிமம் இருக்கணும். அது மேபி எங்களுடைய ஆன்லைன் கோர்ஸா இருக்கலாம். அல்லது நீங்க 1 வீக் சாஸ்திராக்கு வந்து நாங்க 30 ஹவர்ஸ்க்கு மேல ஒரு கோர்ஸ் நடத்தி இருந்தோம்னா அதை நீங்க அட்டெண்ட் பண்ணீங்க ஆன்லைன்லயோ ஆஃப்லைன்ல இருந்தாதான் நீங்க எடுத்துக்க முடியும். 1 day 2 day விசிட் எல்லாம் 1 day 2 day விசிட் எல்லாம் you cannot account it as a value added course. ஏன்னா மினிமம் 30 hours சார் சொன்னது 30 hours குறைஞ்சி இருந்தா அந்த ப்ரோக்ராம் அந்த விசிட் நீங்க பண்ற இனிஷியேட்டிவ் அக்கவுண்ட் ஆகாது.
Another one question, we have signed the MOU nearby 2 industries. They have provided the internship for students for 1 month for final year students. That will be considered?
Yes, sir. That is considered not under value added courses. Internship no option இருக்கு sir. 1.3.3, 1.3.2 and 1.3.3 la number of students taking internship. But அது வந்து if it is part of the curriculum, then it is considered as experimental training. But if it is not part of the curriculum, you can certainly show it as a value added course. Affiliated 1 month சொன்னீங்க, 1 month internship சொன்னீங்க. If it is a 1 month internship, you can certainly add it either in value added courses or in experimental training. It'll be more appropriate under experimental training. But for affiliated colleges, the criteria for experimental training is their curriculum should have the experimental training option. அப்பதான் அது வந்து கன்சிடர் பண்ணுவாங்க. அப்படி அவங்க அங்க கன்சிடர் பண்ணலன்னா தாராளமா அதை வந்து நீங்க ஒரு வேல்யூ ஆடட் கோர்ஸா சேர்த்துக்கலாம். யூ கேன் ஜாயின் இட் பிகாஸ் இட்ஸ் 1 month and extra curricular.
இன்னொரு முக்கியமான பாயிண்ட் I want one more point for benefit of participants. How many of you, I don't know if you noticed it, இப்ப 2019ல இருந்து நவம்பர்ல இருந்து All India Council for Technical Education made it compulsory, please note, underline the word compulsory, for all engineering institutions in India to conduct summer internship for the students. Students right from first year, second year and third year summer, they must undergo internship. No more it is a choice, no more it is obligation. It is compulsory. Now, so you people have to encourage your students to go during summer for industrial internship. Industrial internship 1 month, 45 days, Amir post solunga. Other pathi keep a proper record also. Our students get a certification properly from the industry. You also keep a record from which date to which date. Who are the mentor, internal mentor, external industry mentor for the boy. Everything, and what is the outcome. Ask them to give a small report about what is the outcome of that internship, what they learned. Not merely going and carrying on their letter pad certificate, it's not enough. What is that they learned, and ask them to give a 2-page or 3-page report also. Keep all the documents ready. That can also be taken as an additional effort in terms of learning, practical learning. You can account it. 1 month summer internship, winter internship. So, AICT compulsory ஆக்கிருக்காங்க. எல்லாம் ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோங்க. Okay.
And one more point, sir. We do have some certain courses.
சொல்லுங்க.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, we can have a. Is my voice?
The voice fluctuating இருக்கு மஞ்சுளா மேடம். ஆடியோ கரெக்ட் பண்ணுங்க.
Sir, is it?
இல்ல. உங்க இது.
Okay, sir. Chat window.
Okay, நீங்க chatல போடுங்க. Okay, others can ask questions, sir, quickly. Take another 5 minutes to wind up. Come on. Anybody else have any questions, sir?
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Rangaraj from M.
Yes,
Kumarasamy College of Engineering.
Yes, sir.
Hello,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
sir. If
Yeah,
curriculum enrich,
Yes, sir.
sir, curriculum enrichmentல என்னென்ன points எல்லாம் கொண்டு வரலாங்க sir?
Sir, curriculum enrichmentல தான் இந்த value added courses-லாம் வருது sir. So you are having value added courses itself in the curriculum enrichment. So one second sir. So mainly what they want is they want the students to have a holistic development. So in the curriculum enrichment, that is why இது வந்து language-ஆ கூட இருக்கலாம் sir. For example, foreign languages, German, Japanese, அந்த மாதிரி ஃபாரின் லாங்குவேஜஸ் கூட கரிக்குலம்ல இல்லாம நீங்க கொடுக்கும்போது இதெல்லாமே கரிக்குலர் என்ரிச்மெண்ட் ஆகுது சார். அபார்ட் ஃப்ரம் தட், ஆஸ் ஐ டோல்ட் யூ, கரண்ட் ட்ரெண்ட்ஸ், டெக்னாலஜிக்கல் டெவலப்மெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு ஏற்ற மாதிரி நீங்க கோர்சஸ் கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா இன்டர்நெட் ஆஃப் திங்ஸ், பிக் டேட்டா அனாலிசிஸ், ஆர்டிஃபிஷியல் இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ், டீப் லேர்னிங், இந்த மாதிரி கோர்சஸ்லாம் நீங்க ஆஃபர் பண்ணீங்கன்னா இதெல்லாமே கரிக்குலர் என்ரிச்மெண்ட் ஆகுது சார். ஸோ எனிதிங் தட் இஸ் எக்ஸ்ட்ரா கரிக்குலர் and adding skill to the students becomes the curricular enrichment. Not only that, basically the students should have awareness about the gender equality, environment, sustainability. இது எல்லாத்துலயுமே அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு அவேர்னஸ் இருக்கும் சார். இந்த மாதிரி ஏதாச்சும் ப்ரோக்ராம்ஸ் இருந்தாலும் they will add on to curricular enrichment.
Say for example, we are offering at Shastra, we are for a long time offering Japanese and German in our campus in the evening hours after college hours. And even now German classes are going on for the past 10 plus years. So you can also invite language teachers. நீங்க கூப்பிட்டு ஈவன் ஜெர்மனோ, ஜாப்பனீஸோ, பிரெஞ்சோ, இதெல்லாம் நல்ல டிமாண்ட் இருக்குது. I will talk about this in the final session of my session, coming to the placement, skilling the people, how to make them employable and all. ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி லாங்குவேஜ் இதெல்லாம் கூட நீங்க அடிஷ்னலா கொடுக்கலாம். இதெல்லாம் அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டி சொல்லணும்னு நீங்க வெயிட் பண்ண வேண்டாம். நீங்க ஒரு இப்ப கரூர்ல ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் நீங்க கரூர்ல இருக்கீங்க, கரூர்ல இருந்து ஒருத்தர் என்ன கேட்டுட்டே இருக்காரு, ஜாப்பனீஸ் லாங்குவேஜ் சொல்லி கொடுக்கறதுக்கு வரேங்கிறாரு சாஸ்திராக்கு. அவர் என்ன சொல்றாரு, பிளேஸ்மெண்ட் 100% ஏற்பாடு பண்ணி தரேன் ஜாப்பனீஸ் கம்பெனிஸ்ல சொல்றாரு. I can forward the address and the contact person number to your coordinator. நீங்க கான்டாக்ட் பண்ணி பாருங்க. ஜாப்பனீஸ் கோர்ஸ் கொடுங்க, இன்ட்ரெஸ்டட் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் மட்டும் படிக்கட்டும். ஆன் எக்ஸ்ட்ரா பேமெண்ட் they have to learn in the evening hours. பண்ணுனா நிறைய ஜாப்பனீஸ் கம்பெனிஸ் ஆர் willing to recruit. ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் டிசிஎஸ்ல திடீர்னு என்கிட்ட ஒரு நாள் கேட்டாங்க சாஸ்திரால இருந்து, சார் எத்தனை பேர் ஜாப்பனீஸ் படிச்சவங்க பையங்க இருக்காங்க கொடுங்க, நாங்கள் அவ்வளோ பெருமே நாங்கள் எடுத்துக்கிறோம். நாங்கள் ஏன்னா டிசிஎஸ் உடைய ஜாப்பனீஸ் அங்க உள்ள பிரான்ச்சுக்கு they want people with some basic knowledge in Japanese along with IT skills also. அதனால இந்த ஃபாரின் லாங்குவேஜ் படிக்கிறதுக்கு கொஞ்சம் இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸ் கொடுங்க. இதெல்லாம் நீங்க யூ கேன் கோ பியாண்ட் தி கரிக்குலம், பியாண்ட் தி அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டி சிலபஸ். இதெல்லாம் நீங்க பண்ணா உங்களை என்ரிச் பண்ண முடியும். என்விரான்மெண்ட் பற்றி அவேர்னஸ் எல்லாம் கொடுங்க. என்விரான்மெண்டல் விசிட்ஸ் எல்லாம் ஏற்பாடு பண்றது, என்விரான்மெண்ட் சம்பந்தமான கோர்சஸ் கொடுக்கறது, அதெல்லாம் கூட தாராளமா செய்யலாம். சுற்றுச்சூழல் சம்பந்தமா, ஹெல்த் அண்ட் ஹைஜீன் சம்பந்தமா, இதெல்லாம் கூட யூ கேன் என்ரிச். as he rightly said, வெறும் அகாடமிக்ஸ், வெறும் இந்த 15 பேப்பர் 32 பேப்பர் இல்லாம பிளஸ் ஒரு ஹோலிஸ்டிக் ஆர் ஹோல்சம் டெவலப்மெண்ட் ஆஃப் ஹியூமன் பீயிங் எல்லாமே பண்ணுங்க. ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஓப்பன் எலெக்டிவ் கோர்ஸ்ல எக்ஸாம்பிள் நான் சொல்றேன், எங்கள்ல சம்பிரதாய பஜன் சொன்னா நீங்க ஐ டோன்ட் நோ how many of you will appreciate. தியாகராஜர் கீர்த்தனை, புரந்தரதாசர் கீர்த்தனைல இருந்து எல்லாமே எங்க கீர்த்தனை எல்லாம் வச்சிருக்கிறோம். நீங்க நான் ஆச்சரியப்படுவீங்க, பாத்தீங்கன்னா 120 பையங்க படிக்கிறான் அந்த கோர்ஸை. பிரமாதமா இப்ப எல்லாம் பர்ஃபார்மிங் பஜன்ஸ் எல்லாம் பண்றாங்க சென்னையில பெரிய பெரிய மியூசிக் அகாடமில எங்க ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம். இன்னொன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா வந்து we have laws of cricket as open elective paper. இந்த ஸ்ரீதரன் சார் நம்ம இந்த இதுல கூட இருக்காரு, நாளைக்கு அவர் பேசுறாரு உங்கள்கிட்ட. டாக்டர் ஸ்ரீதரன் அவர் வந்து ரஞ்சி டிராபி கிரிக்கெட் அம்பையர். அவர் வந்து இஸ் ஆஃபரிங் லாஸ் ஆஃப் கிரிக்கெட்ன்ற ஒரு பேப்பர் ஓப்பன் எலெக்டிவ் கோர்ஸ்ல நடத்துறாரு. இன்னொருத்தர் பாத்தீங்கன்னா வந்து ஒரு ஃபேமஸ் ஸ்பீக்கர் இவங்க இருக்காங்க, அவங்க வந்து இந்தியன் விமென்ஹுட பத்தி பாடம் நடத்துறாங்க. காந்தியன் தாட்ஸை பத்தி ஒரு ப்ரொஃபசர் மதுரையில இருந்து நடத்துறாரு வினோத் சாஸ்திரால. இந்த மாதிரி பையனுக்கு வந்து வைட் ரேஞ்ச் ஆஃப் டாபிக்ஸ். இப்போ கூட நியூ எஜுகேஷனல் பாலிசியில இதுதான் சொல்றாங்க, ஸ்கூல் லெவல்ல கூட பையங்களுக்கு நிறைய ஃபிளெக்சிபிலிட்டி கொடுங்க. செட் ஆஃப் 5 பேப்பர்ஸ் மட்டும் இல்ல, மேத்ஸ், பிசிக்ஸ், கெமிஸ்ட்ரி, பாட்டனி, ஜுவாலஜி மட்டும் நடத்தாதீங்க. அவனுக்கு வந்து 3 பேப்பரை தவிர ஒண்ணு நம்ம மியூசிக்கோ, ஆர்ட்ஸோ, டிராயிங் கத்துக்கணும்னு சொன்னா அதுக்கும் சாய்ஸ் கொடுங்கன்னு சொல்றாங்க. ஸ்கூல்ல வருது NEP 2020ல. இந்த ஃப்ரீடம் இஸ் கோயிங் டு கம் ஈவன் ஃபார் 8th 9th 10th 11th 12th வரப்போகுது NEP 2020ல இம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் பண்ணும்போது. ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி நம்ம சிலபஸை தாண்டி என்னென்னலாம் கொடுக்க முடியும் பாருங்க. மியூசிக் தர முடியுமான்னு பாருங்க, ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் சம்பந்தமா கொடுக்க பாருங்க, என்விரான்மெண்ட் தர முடியுமான்னு பாருங்க, ஃபாரின் லாங்குவேஜ் தர முடியுமான்னு பாருங்க. இதெல்லாமே கரிக்குலம் டெவலப்மெண்ட் தான். இதெல்லாமே ஹோலிஸ்டிக் டெவலப்மெண்ட் ஆஃப் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டுக்கான ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் தான். Okay, sir. Next, sir.
Yes, sir. Just to add one point to what Badri sir said, actually sports training itself is a value-added course. There are a lot of universities which are giving sports training, whether it's badminton, tennis, or any sports training itself as a part of value-added course. It's extracurricular, offered for more than 30 hours, and they're developing their skills. So as a result of which, it becomes a value-added course. Thank you.
ஒரு கேள்வி கேட்டுக்காரு பாருங்க, சசிகுமார்னு ஒருத்தர் பாருங்க, சாட் பாக்ஸ் டாக்டர் சாய், whether need to prepare a comparative report against parent university curriculum. What he means?
Illa sir, not necessary sir, because the parent university curriculum is what is being implemented by the college, affiliated college. So they don't. It is not going to be different from the parent university curriculum. Of course, the parent university might have more courses and more programs which may not be there in the affiliated college. But a comparison is not required. At least NAC doesn't expect that from the affiliated college.
இன்னொரு பாயிண்ட், இது எலெக்டிவ் திரும்ப டாக்டர் சாய் சொன்னார், அதில் ஐ அக்ரி. நிறைய இதில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இப்போ எங்கள் யூனிவர்சிட்டியில் கூட MBA டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் எடுத்துக்கிட்டிங்கன்னா எலெக்டிவ்ஸில் நாங்கள் போட்டிருக்கிற ப்ரோச்சர்லையோ சிலபஸில் 13 பேப்பர் நான் வச்சிருக்கிறோம். ஆனால் லிட்ரலி கொடுக்கறது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா திரும்ப ஹியூமன் ரிசோர்ஸ் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட், மார்க்கெட்டிங் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட், ஃபினான்ஷியல் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட்டே கொடுத்துட்டே இருப்போம். அதில் சிஸ்டம்ஸ்னு ஒன்று இருக்கும், சிஸ்டம்ஸ் கொடுத்துருக்க மாட்டோம். யாரோ ஒரு 5 பையன் சொல்லுவாங்க எனக்கு சிஸ்டம் கொடுங்கன்னு. உடனே நம்ம என்ன பண்ணுவோம், டைம் டேபிள், ஃபேக்கல்ட்டி அவைலபிலிட்டி, ஃபேக்கல்ட்டியுடைய எக்ஸ்பர்டைஸ் எல்லாம் மனசுல வச்சுக்கிட்டு இல்லப்பா நீ இந்த 3ல தான் ஒன்று எடுக்கணும்னு எலெக்டிவையே நம்ம கம்பல் பண்ணி எலெக்டிவ் எடுக்க சொல்றோம். சரிங்களா? அந்த ஃப்ரீடம் அங்க போயிடுது. எலெக்டிவ்னா ரியலி எலெக்டிவ் ஷுட் பி an எலெக்டிவ். அவனுக்கு ஒரு சாய்ஸ் அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டியில ஒரு 15 எலெக்டிவ் கொடுத்துருக்காங்கன்னா அந்த மேக்சிமம் எலெக்டிவ் சாய்ஸஸ் நம்ம கொடுத்தோம்னா அந்த ஃபிளெக்சிபிலிட்டி கிடைக்கும். நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம்னா நம்ம கிட்ட ஃபேக்கல்ட்டி சரியா இல்லை, நம்ம கிட்ட ஸ்ட்ராங்கா சொல்லி தரதுக்கு கான்பிடன்ஸ் இல்லைன்னு சொன்னா நம்ம எதுல ஸ்ட்ராங்கோ அதையே பையனை படிக்க சொல்றோம். ஆனா பையனுக்கு வேற படிக்கணும்னு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் சொல்றப்ப என் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் MBA இருக்கு, சிஸ்டம்ல யாருமே ஸ்ட்ராங் இல்லை. ஆனா HR மார்க்கெட்டிங் ஃபினான்ஸ்ல வி ஹேவ் இனஃப் நம்பர் ஆஃப் ப்ரொஃபசர்ஸ். பையன் சிஸ்டம் எடுங்கன்னு ஒரு 6 பேர் கேட்கறான், எனக்கு ப்ரொடக்ஷன் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் சொல்லி கொடுங்கன்றான். எங்களை யாருமே எக்ஸ்பர்ட் இல்லைன்னா இல்ல பண்ணி HR மார்க்கெட்டிங் எடுப்பா நம்ம புஷ் பண்ற பாருங்க. அங்க ஃப்ரீடம் ஆஃப் தி ஸ்டூடெண்ட் இஸ் அஃபெக்டட், அவனோட இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ஆஃப் தி ஸ்டூடெண்ட் இஸ் அஃபெக்டட். ஸோ நம்மளை எக்யூப் பண்ணிட்டு நிறைய பையனை மீட் பண்ணணும். சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்ஷன் we have to provide maximum satisfaction to the customer. See, ஒரு பாயிண்ட் சொல்லி நான் முடிச்சிடுறேன். இந்த இது பாருங்க, வாட்ஸ் கால்ட் நம்மளுடைய குளோபலைசேஷன் அக்ரிமெண்ட்ல போடும்போது பாத்தீங்கன்னா எஜுகேஷன் இஸ் டிக்ளேர்ட் ஆஸ் அ பிசினஸ். 1991ல குளோபல் அக்ரிமெண்ட் போட்டபோது குளோபலைசேஷன் இதுல they said education is considered as a business. Institutions are nothing but organized service providers. நீங்களும் நானும் we are all only service providers, delivery people. Customer, ultimate customer is the student. The maximum satisfaction, இன்னும் தெரியுங்களா, 1980sல நாங்க மார்க்கெட்டிங் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட்ல we used to teach in management. Customer satisfaction is a very old phenomena in marketing management, CRMல, customer relation managementல. The present concept என்ன தெரியுங்களா, exceeding the expectation of the customer. First customer satisfaction, அதுக்கப்புறம் 1990sல எல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா கஸ்டமர் டிலைட், இப்ப எக்ஸீடிங் தி எக்ஸ்பெக்டேஷன். ஒரு சின்ன எக்ஸாம்பிள் சொல்ற மாதிரி, பெட்ரோல் பங்கு போய் பெட்ரோல் போட போறோம். நான் போய் நிக்கிறதுக்குள்ள ஒருத்தர் நியூஸ் பேப்பர் கொண்டு உள்ள போடுறாரு, ஒருத்தரோட முன்னாடி பின்னாடி இருக்கிற கண்ணாடி எல்லாம் துடைக்கிறாரு. ஐ நெவர் தாட். அப்புறம் அங்க போனா உடனே ஃப்ரீயா எனக்கு யார் ஃபில் பண்ணி தராங்க. நான் எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணி போனது பெட்ரோல் போடுறதுக்கு தான். பட் ஐ ஹவ் பீன் given additional service.
மாஸ்க் கூட கொடுக்குறாங்க சார்.
இப்ப மாஸ்க் கொடுப்பாங்க கோவிட் ஏரால. அந்த மாதிரி எதுக்கு சொல்ல வர, நம்ம பையன் எதிர்பார்க்கறதுக்கு மேல நம்ம அவனை போய் டிலைட் பண்ணணும், நம்மளை எக்ஸைட் பண்ணி. இதனால சொல்றேன், இது ஆல்மோஸ்ட் எஜுகேஷன் இஸ் கன்சிடர்ட் as a business. நீங்க இதை இங்க பிசினஸ்ல காம்படிஷன், ப்ரொவைடிங் பெஸ்ட் சர்வீஸ், காம்படிட்டிவ் எட்ஜ், யூனிக் சர்வீசஸ், யூஎஸ்பின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, யூனிக் செல்லிங் ப்ரொபோசிஷன் சொல்லிட்டு. வாட் இஸ் யுவர் யூஎஸ்பி? உங்க காலேஜுக்கும் சுத்தி இருக்கிற காலேஜுக்கும் உங்கள்கிட்ட என்ன யூஎஸ்பி யூ ஹேவ் வித் யூன்னு எவ்ரி டைம் யூ ஹேவ் டு ஆஸ்க், எவ்ரி டே யூ ஹேவ் டு ஆஸ்க். அப்பதான் இந்த ரேஸ்ல ஜெயிக்க முடியும். சர்வைவல் ஆஃப் தி ஃபிட்டஸ்ட். இப்ப இருக்கிற உலகம் சர்வைவல் ஆஃப் தி ஃபிட்டஸ்ட் who have the real quality.
Sir, Badri sir, lastly one question sir. Badri sir,
yeah, last question கூட முடிச்சிருவோம் please.
Yes sir, yes sir. Last question for you sir. As a well frankly openly spoken person, I know very well, on behalf of our management and principal, we thank personally for savior of the pandemic corona. Still now only we are thinking that we are in the academic line, so much of after leave you only excited us to include in the mainstream of education. Personally I thank Badri sir. And
Thank
is it question
Sir,
is, sir, question
Yeah,
is, as a new education policy, as per my concern, I welcome you, sir. Welcome that one, sir.
very good.
Because of so many negative opinions are spreading about. What is your thought about the new education policy?
Sir, colleges சாயங்காலம் சார் சொன்னாப்ல I will organize a separate one workshop on NEP 2020. அது ஒரு பெரிய சப்ஜெக்ட். இதுல வந்து மாறுபட்ட கருத்துக்கள் இருக்கலாம். ஆனா என்னுடைய பர்சனல் ஒப்பீனியன் lot of reforms going to come through the NEP 2020. I look at very positively. I look at everything with positivism only. I'm an undying optimist also. We must look at everything with a positivism. I always wear white glass, very rarely wear cooling glass. So
that's why I'm
look at the plain glass.
openly, frankly, always speaking person.
I believe in that. I practice that also. So அதனால NEP ல உள்ள பெஸ்ட் ஃபீச்சர்ஸ் நிறைய இருக்குது. இன்னும் நிறைய விஷயம் நம்மளே இன்னும் ஃபெமிலியர் ஆகல. இன்னைக்கு கூட இன்னைக்கு கூட ஒரு ரமேஷ் தினமலர்ல சிம்பிளா தமிழ்ல வந்திருக்குது. ஒரு ஆர்டிகல் படிச்சு பாருங்க. ரமேஷ் பிரபா சார் பேசினது கேலக்ஸி இன்டர்நேஷனல் அதெல்லாம் கூட சொல்லிருக்காங்க. நிறைய இருக்கு, நம்ம பின்னாடி பேசுவோம். நல்லா இருக்கு. அது வந்து நிறைய நல்ல விஷயங்களை கொண்டு வரும் போல தெரியுது. Let us wait and see. ஏன்னா politicians may look at everything in a different way. அது நம்ம அதை பத்தி ஆமா ஆமா அது விட்டு அதெல்லாம் பேச வேணாம். பண்ணா கான்ட்ரவர்சி வந்துரும். Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And Dr. Manjula, would you like to say thanks?
Sir.
Dr. Arun, please say a word of thanks to Dr. Sai and to the participants. And tomorrow timings also, topics. Yeah. Go ahead. Clear ஆவலையா? நானே சொல்லிட்டோமா?
Sir, yes sir.
சொல்லுங்க.
Sir. Sir. Madam, shall I?
அருண் சொல்லிட்டோம். மேடம் உங்க மஞ்சுளா மேடம் ஆடியோ சரியில்லை. நீங்க நாளைக்கு கரெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு வாங்க. டாக்டர் அருண் சொல்லுங்க.
Sir, on behalf of Shastra Paramas team and Paramas College and Margaret College and all on behalf of participants, wholeheartedly thanks to you. Wonderful presentation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks to all the participants. We'll meet tomorrow morning. And we are monitoring attendance also. Kindly do please ensure that you are participating. We'll take surprise attendance also, not fixed attendance. Because we were all students once upon a time. So we do remember all those tricks that we used to play. And kindly attend. All the sessions are very useful. Very senior people going to share. It's only a beginning, and you will enjoy really all the sessions in the days to come also. Thank you very much. We will leave now.